There you go. All right. So, anyways, we got 3:27 left in the third. I know the title says fourth quarter, but I had to go in and fix something. So, since I had rushed the cast, I got a notification, and I had to go in and fix that. So, apologies to all. Hopefully, you guys were able to find the new feed and go from there. So, all right. So, Detroit, big opportunity here to add to a lead. We'll see what they can do, but going to be 1st and 10. Goff out of the single back, and they're going to try to pound it at Seattle. Good move there. Going to get about I'd say 5 yards or so on the play. All right. Sorry, I'm still trying to, since I have to keep playing catch up here. Apologize, but St. Brown going to be out wide. Let's see what they do to St. Brown here as far as Seattle. But it looks like Lions going trips 5 wide, set Laporta in the center left position. Nice pass, nice pickup there. And trying to get a little bit more there. Ooh, all right. Well, it's one way to expose your body for the play, but hey, you got to tweak an ankle, it looks like there. That's not good. But it is what it is. You're going to have to play through that. So, when you try to do things on the fly, this is probably the type of result you get, right? So, is that Montgomery? I think it might have been. Yeah, just trying to fight. Yeah, just looks like he even took a shot to the ding-ding. So, anyways, see what Lions can do here. Gibbs in now. He's going to get a little out wide. Lions, if they can put up a score here, I think you're going to force Seattle into very favorable and predictable offensive sets here. So let's see what they can do. Sorry, guys. I'm still just trying to get things set up here. All right. So anyways, back to the field now. 2nd and 8. Goff, single back. He's making a block coverage adjustment. And drop back, and a good adjustment. He's going to get the quick out here. Ooh, you think he's going to be about a yard shy of the first down. Gibbs, I mean, this kid is dangerous. I know we're talking about what Detroit's defense isn't able to do, but let's also talk about the offense here. Just Gibbs does add an element to the offense that just very few teams in this league are going to have. So still trying to get this thing up and figured out. So at least if nothing else, even if I don't do something on this one, I'll be able to get it all set for future ones. And not going to get it on 3rd and 2. So it is what it is. But Detroit, you're going to have to overcome. So 4th and 2, it looks like, the decision's been made. Lions are going to go for it, and let's see how that plays out. If I'm delayed again, I'm sure you guys will let me know in the comment section below. All right, here we go. Man, on your own side of the field, Campbell really – ooh. Yeah. Well – decided to go for it. The pressure got in his face. Goff, I guess you could say the pass wasn't catchable. But, Gibbs is not a great blocker, as we all know. And the route was there. Timing's there. The trip was also there. But it is what it is. It is officiating. Yeah, I'd say it's hard to disagree with that because clearly the officials could have called something there, didn't. But the other part of that is you're Dan Campbell. Last year when you went on your winning streak, did you go for it on 4th downs as much, especially on your own side of the field? I would say no, but he is going for it early and often and repeatedly. And man, oh man, I'm not sure if I have the lead there if I'm going for it, but Dan Campbell isn't asking me either, so I guess there's that side of things. But Detroit's defense is going to have to stand up here because, maybe Campbell says, hey, we're going for it here on 4th and 2 at our own 45 because I don't think our defense can stop them. I guess that'd be the other side of it, and he's the only one who can answer that. So, hey, what are you gonna do? But all right, so well, it's the Lions' show to win or lose. You got the lead, you're gonna have to get a stop, and yeah, I'm just really shocked by that 4th down call. I guess that's what I can say is I'm shocked by that, but it is what it is. All right, so as you guys are probably aware, we're in a commercial. If you're in the comment section below, let me know if I've caught up to you guys on the live stream here. I would be interested in that if you guys can help me out. And again, sorry I had to restart the 4th quarter, but it is what it is. All right. Officiating without question. Well, I'll give the guys that do the livecast all the time some credit because, it does take a little bit of work here. And yeah, Dave Montgomery, you can clearly see he's injured. Lions got injuries everywhere, and Seattle is now 45. Yep, well, you're going to make that 50 yards away from the end zone. So, boy. Boy, and Dean Blandino is saying that he agrees with the no call, but same time, you don't call that. I guess it's incidental tripping, but you just open the door for everybody to trip somebody then, don't you? Hey, I can't keep up with you. Let me just kind of trip you and claim it was incidental. But obviously, it's a judgment called by the officials, and you know what? You ain't gonna get every call. So what are you gonna do? All right, 2nd down coming up. This is going to, I think, be the final play of the 3rd quarter. In fact, they may just let it go down to the 4th. It's going to be 2nd and 6. So pretty good game so far. Going to go into the final frame here. We got a commercial coming up as we exchange from the 3rd to the 4th quarter. I'll be right back. I'm gonna get rid of this. It's a little hot in here with it. So give me just a second. I'm going to get some more water. All right, here I am. I'm back. Looks like I beat the broadcast, so okay. Well, what do you guys think? What's Detroit got to do to get the victory here? I think, man. Well, obviously got to hold them to a field goal. Your blitzes have not been good all season, and I get we're only less than 2 games in. I think your pass rush just 4 versus 5 isn't getting anywhere. So I guess if I'm Aaron Glenn right now, I'm saying the heck with it. I'm going after it. I'm rolling the dice. I'm going to force Geno to roll out to his left side, throw across his body, and consistently beat the blitz, plus hit the throw. I want to keep beating a dead horse, but like we talked about, Lions Talk Live during the the broadcast of the Kansas City game and then throughout this game so far, the offense scares me, and really the defense should too right now. Dr. Detroit, you're 100% right. Where's the D-line? I don't get the use of Houston. I get there's this love of Harris or whatever, but Harris ain't Houston in my eyes. One of them can cause problems. The other one, boy, is just not able to do it, in my opinion. And there we go again. Seattle just doing what they did last year, and I don't see any change. I got to imagine, boy, to me, this game worried me. That's why I did the video Friday. I thought a lot of the players and the coaches were drinking Kool-Aid, that overlooking Seattle. And I get there are some players in the NFL, just like the NBA or any league, that are just vastly superior to everybody else. But the vast majority of players aren't that dissimilar. The 12th guy on the Lakers is closer to being LeBron James than you or me to being that 12th guy. And Seattle is just, they are showing a lot of the league where our weaknesses are. And they are obviously very familiar with what Aaron Glenn likes to do. Most offensive coordinators come out and they have, say, 10, 15, maybe 18 scripted plays. Think about that opening drive for Detroit. Did we do anything to slow them down? They knew our weaknesses were and where they wanted to put their bets. And Seattle right here is the second half is also showing us where they are willing to go and what we are not so great at stopping. Dan Campbell, I thought last year when I did a video calling for his head a little bit, I think it was when he just blew the game to Minnesota. I said you could see where his lack of experience is showing up. And yes, coaches are like players. They need time to develop, improve, whatever you want to say. But this game, I think, okay, going for it on fourth down once in a while, fine. But you are also, if you don't get it, which Detroit hasn't more often than not, you are putting a lot of pressure on a defense, which isn't great to begin with. At least not today, they're not. There's miscommunication with Seattle, throwing a deep post route versus an out route. And, hey, that's a break for Detroit. Dave Montgomery going to the locker room, fighting for that extra yard is going to cost him an ankle and probably the rest of this game. Could be longer. 13-11 left in the fourth. 2nd and 10. Intentional grounding. That will help Detroit. So, there was nobody within 15 yards of that pass. Miscommunication, all you want. But there was a man in the vicinity. And, yeah, if I'm Pete Carroll, I'd probably get it. But, hey, he's telling them right now, stay on that sideline. He's giving them a warning. So, hey, you might not agree with the penalty, but that is the penalty. Matrix 6, they need the flag. Pete Carroll, yeah, they just gave him a warning, at least on my video, which I'm going to say, may or may not be caught up to you guys. Got to say, I've been happy with Montgomery. Me too, but, I'm guessing he's not coming back today, and he could be out next week as well. We'll see. That's fighting for the extra yard. I get it, but all right. So let's see. Here we go. 13-11. We got 2nd and 20. It's going to be a pass. Zero pressure. You're going to be Geno scrambling, and he's scrambling for the vast majority of the yards on that play. Say what you want about Aaron Glenn, but he is incredibly predictable what he's going to run on third downs or any kind of long distance situations, and scrambling quarterbacks, once again, are going to give Detroit fits. To me, I'm being the coach on the sideline here, but I probably would have had like a cornerback or whatever in spy or shoot a gap on first look for him. So he moves out of the pocket. You're going after him right away. No questions asked. He completes a pass. But 3rd and 5, let's see what the Lions can do here. A little bit of pressure. Again, scrambling man, but there is a flag on the play. So my guess is a hold. And the announcers, I didn't catch them, but saying both receivers are off the ball. So, and yep, they're going to call them for illegal formation. So I didn't see it, but they got a better view of it than I did. So Detroit dodges a bullet momentarily. Dr. Detroit, what are you thinking of this D? Brett Clements, you guys got anything? Combat sack? I can say this. Again, I think coaches need time to grow and develop. I'm all for it, but I'm also not seeing development for a big game situation yet out of our coaches. And that's the OC, the DC, and the HC. And you're not loving it? Well, I could get that, man. All right, looks like Seattle's going to be forcing their first of 3 second half timeouts. 12:01 to go in the fourth quarter, and Seattle's driving 3rd and 10. Detroit's offense, assuming we get the ball back with a 1-point lead, I'm going to say this. I don't think you have a hammer back right now since Montgomery's out, and I don't know who the third running back is today. Apologies. I don't know if it's Craig Reynolds or whoever, but I'm saying this right now. I'm probably going 5 wide, spreading out Seattle, and I'm going to use Gibbs as a slot receiver going across the middle. He catches it. He can run upfield. You got to do something here to force Seattle to play less of what their coverage is and more what we're going to dictate they can do. You want to go 5 wide and still put 8 people, 9 people in the box. Somebody is going to have a favorable matchup, and that's going to be you're putting in pressure on Goff to make that adjustment and make the correct, read, call, throw, etc. But you got a chance to hit home runs there. So I get you want to try to keep a balanced offense, but there's also the point in time when you have to just say, hey, this is what they're giving us, or this is what we're going to force you to give us. So when I coach, I could give a damn what you want to do on offense or defense. My teams are going to impose our will on it. It's up to you to beat it. It's up to you to stop it. And right now, I think we're playing very reactionary football on offense and defense. And I'm not a fan of that. I think you're letting the other team dictate what to do. You've gone for it on a few 4th downs. You hit them, great. You're a genius. You don't. You're in this situation where you gave Seattle basically only half a field to work with. You may ultimately get a stop and just hold them to 3 points, but you've also aided them in getting that. So looks like I'm still behind you guys because Dr. Detroit's let me know it's wide open, and that's probably not an ideal thing there. So see if I can reload and see if that will help me out here. And apologies that unfortunately my feed sometimes is on time with you guys. Other times I am off target. So I'm on the special teams now, just getting to GMC on the screen. So, all right, let's. If you're listening to me, it's 12:01 left in the fourth quarter. 3rd down and 10. Detroit clinging to a 4-point lead. Seattle coming out of the shotgun 2-back formation. Geno Smith making a line adjustment, and he's going to call for the snap here. He's making another line. Man in motion out of the backfield, going to the right side high. Geno, another quick adjustment. And there's the snap. No pressure on him. He's going deep. Got him out wide open. You are definitely correct. Nobody within 5 yards of Lockett. And, hey, 3rd and 10, making it look like pitch and catch. And, again, as I was just talking about before the play, yeah, Dr. Didi, you're totally fine, man. One moment I'm caught up to you guys, the next I'm not. So, yeah, it's just a service provider. But this is what I was talking about. You're playing reactionary football. You're saying, hey, we're going to play zone coverage. You want to pick us apart, go for it. We'll get you eventually. I'm just not a favor of that because it is a game of inches, and I want to do everything I can to force you to do something you do not want to do. I want you to react to what we are going to do, and that may not be something you're great at. So, Dr. D, don't worry about it, man. Keep throwing them out there. I mean, don't matter to me. I'm just telling you guys what I think. So, I hate to say what I think is going to happen in this game, and hopefully I'm wrong, but I think the coaching staff, not just one person, but the whole lot of them are going to have to grow up from this because I'm seeing a lot of less experienced coaching mistakes, in my opinion. It doesn't mean I'm right. Doesn't mean I'm wrong. Just means it's my opinion. Anyways, we got the play action handoff going to lob it deep, and I think he's got him, and he does. Yep. We invested a lot of money in the secondary. We invested a lot of money in the line. But a lot of it comes down to how you're going to use your pieces. Detroit not going for it on a field goal earlier in the game. You're going to be down by 3 here. Does that impact the game? Detroit going for it on fourth down and giving somebody a short field. You're now going to be down 3. And not to say that Seattle couldn't have went the entire way, but it is what it is. Detroit's offense is going to have to respond, and you're going to have to respond now with some pressure on, and you're going to have to impose your will on them with 10 minutes and 38 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. It's one of the biggest fallacies in all of sports is that, and I'll just say this, week 1, you could hear a lot of reporters say, Chicago's trash, this team's trash, Seattle has no choice or no chance. And I can only tell you what coaching for 3 billion years has taught me. There's no such thing as no chance. Athletes have pride. Coaches have pride. They all have egos. And especially if you're talking at the professional level, they all made it to that level for a reason. They have uber confidence, uber pride, and they have a desire to win at all costs. Seattle was doing everything they can to find just inches here, inches there to say, here's a slight weakness with Detroit. Here's a slight positive with us. How do we exploit both sides of that? They went into this game saying, we've got nothing to lose. Everybody expects us to lose. And I'm sure you saw most of the prognosticators. I mean, I know I picked Detroit. Why wouldn't I? They're at home. You're playing well. You're fairly healthy. But it's also one of the biggest fallacies that if you don't come out willing to play with your life on the line, fighting for every inch, then you keep teams around. In any sport, baseball, soccer, thumb wrestling, if you keep somebody around longer and longer in a game, they start believing they can beat you. They believe they have a chance. And in my opinion, watching this game, as predictable as the first half coverages and offenses were, it didn't take a whole lot to figure out Detroit has an issue with their secondary receiver. St. Brown is a great Robin to a Batman. St. Brown ain't Batman. He can do some great things, but he needs somebody to pull coverage away. Kansas City, again, after the first quarter said, we're going to put 2 on you, tons of different coverages to keep you in check, and Detroit's going to have to go somewhere else. And can you do that consistently to beat our D? And once they established that and then had success for 75% of the game with it, you're inviting everybody in the NFL to copy that defense. No different than when Tampa came out with the Tampa 2 and 20 other teams, the Bears in 85. Until teams learned how to beat it, everybody started trying to copy it. But once teams started beating it, then you had to come up with something else. Detroit's in a bad situation with where they are right now. Because I don't see I'm just talking about offense right now. I don't see any offensive adjustments from Kansas City to here. So either they're saying we just can't do it, or they were oblivious to the fact that, hey, just because one team could do it doesn't mean everybody can do it. That's on coaching, in my opinion. So now talk about the defense. Does this defense really look any different than last year? Runs up the middle, quarterback rolling out wide on play action, receivers running post patterns or deep outs to consistently get open. Well, with my sermon now done, all right, here we go. Let's get into the fourth quarter, and I get most of you guys are seeing the game a little bit faster than what my provider gives, so apologies. I got 24-21, first and 10, 10:38 to go. Goff with a little trickeration for a yard. We're going to get a yard out of that. And the other thing I want to talk about with coaching. So some of you've watched sports forever, so I'm going to say this. A coach has a lot of success in one season, especially a younger, less scouted coach, less noticed coach. And I'm just going to say this, Ben Johnson at this point. Ben Johnson did a lot of stuff last year that caught other teams off guard. But guess what all those DCs did this offseason? They had months to sit and watch his formations, try to listen for calls, adjustments. So they're more aware going into this season when they see this, when they hear that, what's the probable play for Detroit? I'll say this about the comment in there about the Gibbs mistake. It's too early. I'll say this. It's way too early to say that. Let's wait till after the first or second season that Gibbs is in there. Gibbs has some potential, but I think, at least from what I'm seeing, we've got to see more of what Ben Johnson's going to do to use him. Right now, he's a weapon. I think we all agree that. But what's Ben Johnson able to do to get that weapon open, to utilize it to the best of his abilities? I'm just, for the most part, talking about offenses and how they are or aren't being used, or how they've been schemed for and things of that sort, because I can only say what I think, and that's someone, like I said, who's coached forever. I think Detroit looks like they've been incredibly scouted. I think Seattle and Kansas City look like they know what we're doing fairly well. And then it just comes down to execution and plays. Do we have better plays than the other team? Do we have better players? Do we execute better? I think you guys get the gist. But the problem being that right now, I'm just going to say that it looks to me like Detroit's got an offensive problem with being able to beat coverage that both Kansas City and Seattle have used, as far as overloading box for against the run and against the pass. Now move on from that to say, hey, we've got a problem on the defense as far as just depth. And Vitae, once again, is hurt. Somebody, I think, rolled up on his ankle. Yeah, you can see it right there. Good thing that you got Glasgow, but, hey, Detroit's in, I think, a precarious situation. I mean, they may win or not win this game, but I don't think we're going to see different defensive coverages from the next few teams. Offensively, you got to do something to help St. Brown, among other players, get open. Because right now, okay, Seattle protecting the lead a little bit. They only leave a bit of a cushion for Detroit. They went to zone there with 3 underneath, 4 over the top, so 2 deep safeties, 2 out wide. Basically, they're trying to get Detroit to have to dink and dunk there down the field, which they're in 3 now, under 10 to go. So we'll see what happens. But I'm just, again, you guys think what you want, say what you want. I'm just throwing what I have as far as what my coaching guys are seeing. And Mr. R, they are in need of a real playmaker. Yeah, because right now the defense is showing no respect for the majority of these players. And the players out there, when they do get one-on-one, Josh Reynolds has won some. I get that. He's won some. He's not winning enough to change the coverage. Same against Kansas City. St. Brown is a great player, and you heard me talk about this during this cast. He's just not somebody who's an alpha male that can beat coverage the vast majority of the time when it's double coverage. There's not many who can do that to begin with. So you're asking him to be incredibly rare. Laporta's a rookie. Gibbs is a rookie. Marvin Jones or whoever else is out there is what it is. And there it is, 1st and 10. And we're going to have a first sack of Goff out there. Yep, so Detroit, I get where you're on the hype train for them. Jameson Williams was on there, great, maybe something different. But you know what? It's no different than he was out there the first play of the game and got injured. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, he's not out there. Yes, he had somebody open, but you know what? When he got pressure on a quarterback, you're like every other human. It is what it is. All right. 2nd and 15. Again, I'm on a delay versus some of you guys. It doesn't sound like all you guys. Goff back to pass, and it is going to be a pick 6. And that's probably going to, in my opinion, end the game. But we'll see what Detroit does here. But Detroit has done this to themselves, and I'd start with the coaches on top. Let it come downhill from there. Players respond to coaching. Coaches are the leaders. And I'd say this. The leaders of this Lions team, it's easy to coach. Use last year as an example. 0 expectations. Now, I did a video last year when we were 1-4 or 1-5. I thought the Lions would make the Super Bowl this year. I didn't say we'd win it. I said I thought we'd make it. I'm going to say this now. When they turned things around, they were playing loose. Who cares if we lose? because we're expected to not do this or that or the other thing. It is what it is. But now there is pressure on you. Now there is expectations. And do you see much out of any of these coaches? And it doesn't mean they won't fix things. Doesn't mean they won't get things right. But pressure in Goff's face, he throws a little behind, and well, it's a touchdown for the other team. So you guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment. I get everybody's going to be disgusted if we lose this. They're going to be this, that, and the other thing. But that's also why I wouldn't put Matt Nelson out as my starting right tackle. I probably would have had Big V out there with Glasgow. And, it is what it is, man. You're going to have if Detroit doesn't win this game, which I'm going to say right now with 8 minutes left, yeah, we'll see. But you're going to have to make adjustments. Turnovers, Detroit 3, Seattle nothing. Now, obviously, 2 of those are deciding to go for it on 4th down and not getting it. I get you, Dr. D, but at the same time, he had a guy in his face. Should he, it's easy to say he should have just ate it, but quarterbacks are humans. And that's the first time Goff's thrown a pick in whatever it's been, 10, 11 games. So I'll say this. I'm going to blame, a lot of this on schematics. And again, we had a lot of people in the media on YouTube or whatever saying, this team after week 1, and not Detroit, but this team was horrible because how they performed against that team or whatever. Man, in pro sports, there is such a jump from week to week just because the players and coaches usually clean things up so much. But we'll see what happens here. Detroit's going to have to go down and score. Plenty, yeah, I agree. Plenty a game to go or blame to go around. And it's just my opinion, but it just looks like there just isn't or wasn't a lot of game plan prepared for this game. That's just what I see, and that's just me trying to be as fair as possible. That looks like taunting to me, but yeah. So let's see the replay. I guess we're talking about the late hit here, but yeah, that's incredibly late. That's kind of a BS one, and he should get fined and suspended for it. So, but I mean, the only thing you can say for the defensive player is maybe he thought it was a play action and Goff still had it or whatever. But, hey, is what it is. Detroit's put themselves in this situation where that even matters. So the good thing is it stops the clock if you're Detroit and gives you another 15 yards. But Pete Carroll is probably sending a fruit basket to Dan Campbell after this one and saying, hey, man, you're really bailing out our seasons here. And he's going to have to – Dan Campbell's going to have to do some growing up and say, hey, I admit stuff. And no penalty on that one, so it is what it is. It's not that I don't like St. Brown. I do. I think he's great. He's just not an alpha player, in my opinion. So, all right, getting back to the game. So if I'm the Detroit Lions after this, what are you doing? Does Atlanta look horribly easy now? Tampa Bay after that? You're going to have to make some calls here, and you're going to have to make some choices. What do you want to do? And Goff's not throwing that ball. I don't know if you guys are paying attention to the coverages because in my opinion, there's no place to go. Seattle is now leaving 3 to 4 players underneath with 3 to 4 players over the top, depending on the play. So here you got 4 people rushing. You do the math. You're leaving 3 underneath and 4 over the top. That's incredibly difficult for most quarterbacks. I'd even say anybody other than maybe Patrick Mahomes and 2 other people to fit those passes in. But the other part of it is you've got to have receivers who are getting open against that coverage. See the coverage here. They are going to force Goff to hit a pinpoint pass. And that's just tough to do. First down Detroit, though, on 3rd and 13. Laporta wasting time as he celebrates. You need to go. You can do that up 10 with 5 minutes to go. I agree with you. And that's basically why we agree, Dr. D. Why is Seattle doing it? because they do have that lead with that little time left. And Detroit, they know, just does not have somebody who can beat you on the outside, who can beat consistently one-on-one coverage or give double coverage an issue. So Detroit here, 2 up top on the left. Goff going to swing it out, fake it, bring it back, and this play is going nowhere. So the other part of it is pay attention to what I'm saying about, Ben Johnson, Aaron Glenn. Are they getting exposed? And this is my question to you guys. I've already stated my case. I think all 3 of the head entities, coaching-wise in Detroit, got exposed. And I get Pete Carroll as coach for 3,000 years. He's gonna have little tidbits and wisdoms that a third-year head coach, defensive coordinator, and a second-year offensive coordinator just aren't going to have. What's Seattle doing? Forcing Detroit to run eats up more what? Clock. The clock ain't your friend down 10. But, I'll do a post-game show, and I hope you guys all jump on. All I'll do is I'll end the stream, and I'll set it up and put it back up. But does Dan Campbell look like he's got any sense of urgency on the sideline, or does he look like he's perplexed and mentally spent because he can't figure out the answer to this riddle? And he's going to have to grow up a lot from this to get this team to be where it wants to be. Still 5 minutes left. Detroit still has 3 timeouts plus the 2-minute warning. A score here, even if it's a field goal, keeps you in the game. But, yeah, announcers just said it's light box. And, yeah, Detroit does run against it, but it's because Seattle is trying to force you to kill the clock. And you want to run, fine. We'll give you 5-6 yards running because of how much time we know it's going to eat. You just ate 40-some seconds off the clock, but with that run, and there's really no sense of urgency out of Detroit's offense. Another short pass. Oh, breaks a tackle. Going to slip and get a few more. Been great to get out of bounds, but you didn't take it. Hey, you're down to the 6-7 yard line. Now they're moving the ball, but again, look how much time is coming off the clock. I mean, you got to score, otherwise it doesn't matter. But I don't know. There's one thing I learned a long time ago in coaching, and there was this guy who had already coached. I was like in my 5th year. His name was Ron Welch, and he had already coached, at that point, a bajillion years. It was just hard to ever catch his teams off guard with this or that or the other thing because he'd seen it all. He already had answers. So when he scouted us, when he watched film, broke it down, he's seen things enough to have his teams prepared for it. I really do believe Pete Carroll and his staff have a lot of the answers for Detroit because they've come up with answers and seen what Detroit struggles with. Again, yeah, the announcers now talking about it. You got to pick up the tempo. 100%. Because Detroit's putting themselves in position now where Seattle is going to get the ball back and they get 2 first downs. This game's over. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully Detroit can pull it off. But we got just over 3 minutes left. I get you guys are probably about 40 seconds ahead. Detroit dropping back. Goff, scan the field. He's got all day. He's going to throw it. And there is a touchdown. Reynolds. So he has been the primary beneficiary to the consistent halo coverage, double coverage, bracket coverage, whatever coverage you want to call it on St. Brown. All right. So Josh Reynolds, hey, his Madden stats should be going up based on week 1 and 2. But ultimately, at the end of the day, though, if Detroit goes on, they win, 11 games or so. We look back on this game. Yeah, it is what it is. Remember where I said earlier, we turned down going for a field goal to go for it on 4th down. Game of inches. We could be tied right now, or we could be down 3. So I get it. If you get that first down on the 4th down, and you go down and score a touchdown, then nobody's looking back at it this way. But these are the decisions the coach has to live with. And Detroit loses by 3, he's going to have to, the entire staff is going to have to go back and review this and say, hey, what could we have done differently? All right, so we're going to learn a lot here in these last 3 minutes about Lions are bums. They don't win another game. Well, Neil, that we'll see what happens. Let's hope that's not the case. But they're going to have to grow up a lot. And I get you've got a lot of younger players who are trying to learn to handle pressure. But the other part of that equation is, while none of the players have really won at a consistent level in the NFL, neither of the coaches. So they don't know what they don't know, and they're all growing up. They're going to have to learn that hype trains are one thing. What you do Tuesday through Friday on that field to get ready, that's really what matters. And say what you want about this, that, and the other thing. I just don't look at this and say this team was ready. That's just my opinion. And, man, we've definitely got more and more tempers between these two teams. So, yeah, if there wasn't a steady rivalry between these two before, it should be after this one. And we'll see what shakes out. But Detroit's got 3 timeouts plus the 2-minute warning. You got 3:03 on the clock. You haven't done anything to even dirty Geno Smith's jersey. And I'll say this for Metcalf. He's a physical specimen, one we struggle to cover to begin with. He's got a lot of adrenaline going through him. I think he's going to be even tougher to cover at this point. But let's see what they do. They got to get a stop. Otherwise, this game is toast. And let's see if Powder Toast Man can step up and stop Seattle here. All right, Geno on the gun. Looks like a run formation to me. But let's see what they do. They're going to roll out, though. Going to finally get to the quarterback? No, instead he's going to slide and we'll go 4. And I'm going to say this. Where's James Houston? The prodigal son, the problem from a year ago. I'm not sure what the coaching staff why they don't have him out there. And maybe you guys see him, but I've only seen him out there a handful of plays. And I wouldn't have him out here right now because this is probably a run down for Seattle as you're going to try to grind the clock down to the 2-minute warning. Tip, though. It's going to stop the clock, 2:15, and that's going to force a 3rd and 8. No need to set the record straight. Neil Rule, I got a question for you. The Lions going to stop here, go down the score, and win the game? Are they the same old Lions or the brand new Lions? Comment in the section below. All right, I'm trying to have a little fun here because I'm one thing I know about me is when I watch other teams and I see what I would do different as a coach, it does rattle me up a little bit because, I guess most people who watch me coach think most of my teams are fairly helter-skelter, hard to anticipate because everything seems crazy and off the wall. Same old Lions. All right, well, if they lose here, I think there's going to be a dramatic shift from brand new Lions to same old Lions on the belief system scale. But here we go. Packed house, Ford Field. I'm surprised there haven't been more false starts. So credit to Seattle's coaching staff for addressing that and getting that hammered out this week. But they're bringing some pressure. They got single coverage blocking wide open over the middle as nobody within 5 yards of them. But there is a flag on the field. If it's holding, Detroit's got life. If not, pass interference. All right. Probably going to accept that penalty, I'm guessing. So I didn't catch it. I thought I saw a weak hold, but there's wing it up top. 84. Yeah, he does kind of push off. And that would explain why there's so much room on him. But, Aaron Glenn went with single coverage across the board, bringing pressure. But Seattle's without 3 people on their offensive line. And 3 starters, excuse me. And the fact that they're holding up this well, that's another credit to the coaching staff and the players. But let's stick to the current moment, though. 2:11 on the clock, 3rd and 18. Detroit not bringing pressure. Then they might finally not get a sack. He's dancing. Smith, and he's going to go down. 2-minute warning, 1:57 left. Alex Anzalone, first sack of the season for the Lions, and at the 2-yard line. So I'm surprised Geno just doesn't throw that thing away. That's on him. Boy, is what it is. But the Lions, They got life. All right, I'm going to get a little bit more water. Be right back. Stay tuned. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that, guys. So anyways, we got a chance. Dr. Detroit, what do you think we got to do here? Return the punt to the house? That would make things easier, wouldn't it? All right. So I'm going to real quickly unplug my phone, which is dying. You know, as Lions fans, we don't get a lot of easy wins, do we? It's only last year when you're playing with no pressure on you. So, yippee-ki-yay, here we go. All right. So just checking a few things real quick. Apologies if a little delay here in the broadcast. But, again, just repeating for anybody who's just tuning in, my feed, I guess you could say, does seem to be running on a little bit of a delay, so I apologize for that. Nothing I can do about it. It is what it is. But, yeah, I've got a bit of a delay. There's been a couple of times where I think, according to you guys, I've caught up. But then there are times where it seems like I'm back to 2 plays behind you guys. So it is what it is. Don't have cable. I do have a stream. And, yeah, I've even tried like NFL Plus, NFL Network, and it just seems to be the same with every provider I've tried. But unfortunately, there is a delay. Just like if I go to some of the local pubs or bars, you know, half the screens are on time. The other ones are kind of like the broadcast I have. They're, you know, like 10, 40 seconds behind. So either way, though, Detroit was down 10 points, 3 minutes to go in the game. Now they're going to get the ball back down just a couple. An opportunity down 31-28, 1:58 to go. Seattle facing a 4th and 35. Detroit still has all 3 timeouts. So game of inches here. If Seattle could just, you know, take the safety here or give us a touchdown on this, that would help a lot. But, all right, here we go. Punts away. And he's going to field it and have a lot of room. He's at the 31, going the wrong way, cutting back up at the 40, at the 45, out to the 50, and no penalty there. I couldn't tell if there was or wasn't. Either way, just kind of the way he was spun down. But you're roughly, you know, Riley Patterson seems decent from 45. So you got to go, about 15 yards to get him into field goal range while not leaving Seattle time. And I think that's going to be the tricky part here. But Matt Nelson, as you guys are all aware, is the right tackle, but he's been all game. So, and hasn't done horribly, he just hasn't done great. All right, here we go. Single back, Laporta in motion, testing coverage. Seattle's lines shifting to match the coverage. Goff gets him. Josh Reynolds again. 134 and ticking. And you guys will know the results of the game before me, so feel free to throw them up on the board, good or bad. Let me know. Do I got something to look forward to, or do I have a reason to maybe start prepping the post-game show just a little bit faster? So I'll get that up within minutes of this concluding, and it will be a live cast, so I don't have to do all the editing and stuff, and you guys can feel free to jump on in. But all right, here we go. Little end around. Got a blocker. Got 2 blockers. He's up to about the 28. Depends on where they're going to mark him. Looks like about the 28. Raymond, nice moves there. Under a minute to go. 51 seconds left. And I'm going to say this, Detroit is, I thought at this point they would start using some timeouts, but, Campbell, this is why you get paid the big money. You're down to 39 seconds, still got 3 timeouts, first down. You don't get more time. You can preserve time with timeouts, though. Goff making some moves, making some adjustments. I'd be using timeout here if I was Detroit. 26, and it looks like, they're going to finally signal for the timeout. So, by the way, in case you guys were unaware of this stat, these two teams have combined for over 80 points in the last 2 meetings. If they do it here again today, it'd be the first time in NFL history 2 teams have played 3 straight times combined for over 80. So, I don't think that's going to be possible, but who knows? People are going to lament the pick 6 for Goff, but other than that, he's played a good game, and I'm going to say this, no quarterback's perfect. So, doesn't matter. He wins here, then you'll have a lot more people loving him for the win. But here we go. Drops back, another one over the middle, and stops the clock. 2nd and 7. Now it's going to be 3rd and 7. So we're going to have to be careful with it. That's the tough part for me, man, is, again, having coached and then being a coach and then watching what other people do. I mean, it's the same with every coach, I'm sure. You think about what you would do versus what they do and yada, yada. Man, playing it uber safe here. Not going to make a first down. No chance for the touchdown. And now Detroit is going to put it on the leg of Riley Patterson just to tie it. You go for it on all these 4th downs, and you come out here, instead of going for the win, you're just playing for a tie? Man, I really don't get that. Doesn't matter if I'm here to get it. That's what it is. Detroit's going to try to tie it with 3 ticks left. Seattle, I'm sure, is going to try to ice the kicker. I don't get the last drive strategy. Dr. D, Neil, Mr. R, Kevin, anybody get the strategy here? Hey, 2 minutes to go. Let's just run down the clock and kick a field goal to tie it? Huh. Well, it's a bold strategy, Cotton. All right. Kick is up. And we are going into overtime. Well, they haven't lost. They haven't won. Going to OT. That's all I can really say, guys. Is if you let me know in the comment section below, how would you rate this? Sounds about right to me. That's all I can say, guys. It's just not what I would have done as far as attacking on offense. Trying to go for the win because, I mean, you can still lose, but just not up to me. So, but all right. Each team gets 2 timeouts. All right. All reviews from upstairs. I mean, you guys already know the overtime rules. I don't have to really tell you. Sorry, I was just responding to a text. Seattle's got it. And they didn't take the win. So, see what happens here. All right, I'll be right back. I'm going to hit the loo. Be right back. All right, let's see if I can pull my Thanos here. I'm back on the screen. Excuse me. Who thinks the Lions can win an OT? Brett, I'll help you out. If we get a stop, I think we will win in OT. But my problem is, man, playing that conservative on the final drive of regulation. Play for the win. By the way, it does not look like the same old Lions to me. I've been watching this team religiously for the last 45 years to see a difference. There's definitely a difference. And, Brett, you and everybody else watching, I just want to say this. I'm just telling you my interpretations based on what I see. It doesn't mean I'm right or wrong or whatever. I just think I see a lot of inexperience from the coaches. And, how they handled that last drive. I mean, you are playing not to win just by going for that field goal, burning up all that clock. I get Seattle's throwing everything at you to throw underneath, but who's winning then? They're telling you what you have to do, and you're saying we're only going to do that because that's what you're giving us. It also goes to show that Detroit, in the coach's defense, they may not have a lot of faith in some of their players to win those one-on-one matchups. So do you force it versus just taking what you get? Well, whatever it is, it's all on the Detroit D at this point. They don't get a stop. Great. You forced overtime, but it is what it is. All right. So you guys know the drill. Overtime. Seattle goes down and gets a touchdown. Game is over. They're held to a field goal. Detroit's got a chance to respond. But we'll see. I have not been impressed with the defensive scheme. Maybe Josh Pascal was that big of a piece for us. But whatever it is, here we go. Roll out again. Play action all day, even with backups on the O-line. And again, Detroit just ain't getting to the quarterback. But the other part is, if you see, Seattle's got all the linemen in there, plus tight ends, chipping, blocking, helping out. Detroit playing coverage only, no blitz, no pressure. And Geno Smith still has yet to go down, sort of like Patrick Mahomes the week before. So we can say what we want about this team being better, but they're still subject to the same mistakes that we saw most of last year, at least in my opinion. All right, so 2nd and 10. Hey, we didn't give up a first down there. What can Detroit do to change their fortunes? Yeah. Thanks for that, Brett. All right, Aaron Glenn, let's see what you can do. Have you got a bag up here, or a trick up your bag or whatever? Seattle's roughly, I'd say, 25 yards away from a legitimate field goal attempt for their guy. No pressure, clean pocket, pass is caught, and he's going to be limited to about 3 yards, I'd say, maybe 3.5. So 3rd down, and we'll say 6. How about that? We'll round down. Dr. Detroit, you got any nails left? You enjoying this game, or you stressing? So normally I would say I'm stressing, but the announcing and all that probably actually helps de-stress me. So probably after the post-game show, though, coming up within, say, 5 minutes after this, I'm going to probably hit the bike or the treadmill. No pass rush has been a consistent theme of the Lions. Here we go. 33, 8:35 left. Pressure, no pressure on Smith. Smith all day to throw in. If you can't put pressure on the other quarterback, sure does give him a lot of time to complete. And Geno Smith. Yeah, I just, we take away, or other teams take away St. Brown with bracket coverage, double coverage. It's odd to me on 3rd down that DK Metcalf isn't facing something fairly similar. But Tampa Bay Buccaneers now 2-0, I'm sure, as you know. Yeah. We'll see them in a couple weeks. Detroit, what can you do here? I'm, as porous as Seattle's D was last week, they haven't been this week. As much pressure as Detroit's defensive line put on Patrick Mahomes in week 1 against Kansas City, you're not seeing any of that this week. But to be fair, Seattle is leaving a lot of big personnel groups in there. And it looks like John Kaminsky is down now for the Lions, who cannot afford to lose too many more defensive linemen. Kaminsky might have got his knee rolled there. Yeah, looks like it. Or excuse me, Hutchinson, not Kaminsky. Excuse me, Hutchinson. I think I said Kaminsky earlier, and I know I said Kaminsky earlier. Well, your best pass rusher out. No problem, Brett. I get it, man. If you're a Lions fan, you've seen this situation a few times. All right, here we go. Another fake, another pass, another rollout, another wide open guy. Makes you wonder who's calling these defensive packages. I mean, how many times last year, this year, any year do we keep seeing this? And, Seattle's in easy field goal range now. Now it's whether or not they win it on a touchdown and just ended off. Geno on the rollout. Trickeration, excuse me. He's going to get about 2 yards. Maybe 4. So going back to the final drive of regulation, Detroit has an opportunity to just win it on their own. Instead, they're like, nah, let's just kick a field goal and pray we get the ball back on offense, I guess. Yeah. It is what it is. Detroit's got a lot of good things going for them, but they've got a lot of growing up to do, and it's too bad. You see a lot of potential and a lot of potential wasted in coverages that I would think just about anybody could beat. So, well, here it is, 3rd and 2. Hutchinson back in. So I got to imagine if I'm Seattle, I don't want Detroit to get the ball back. I'm on the road. Even if I don't get it on 3rd and 2 here, I'm going for it on 4th down. But that's probably not what Pete Carroll's going to do. By the way, it just started raining pretty good here. So, all right, let's see what we got here. Going to put it in Geno's hands, and why wouldn't you? Hutchinson flushes him out, and it's a touchdown. The game's over. Well, I'm going to say this. This is why you play to win instead of playing to tie. I blame this on the coaching staff 100%. So, without question, on the coaching staff. All right, I'm going to end the stream here, get the post-game show going. David Avery, I tell you what, I'll have the post-game show up here in just about 3 minutes, maybe give me 5, and we'll see you guys all on there. Feel free to jump in and say what you got to say. See you in a minute.